All right, guys, 30 minutes for showtime. You know what we're doing? You ready to go?
Do you really think Ortiz isn't going to hit 40 home runs?
When did I say that? Are you kidding me?
Hey, guys, listen. You're the leaders of this team. You got to take things in control, all right?
Whoa. Since when did they become the leaders?
Who decided you were a leader?
What are you saying? Haven't you only been here for like 3 weeks?
Guys, concentrate. We have a show.
Freshman. Guys, all right? Put it together, or else I'll put Roy and Brandon on, all right?
Yes.
All right, guys. You know what we're doing? Let's have a good show. All right, camera, Amir. Let's go. Amir. Amir.
Guys, seriously, we're on in 2 minutes.
Nico, seriously, I haven't finished my taco salad yet. Seriously, Schochat, do you ever stop complaining?
Seriously, Exter? Do you even do anything here?
I have to pee. Seriously.
All right, boys, we gotta be ready for the next questions. Who's ready to argue today? All right, baby, what time is it? Showtime!
The lead cameraman for UMass Sports Weekly is Amir Norman. And coaching UMass Sports Weekly in his first year, Evan Levine. The reserves for UMass Sports Weekly, Rory Hart and Brandon Arms. And now for the starting lineup of UMass Sports Weekly. First, at one personality, a freshman from New York, Brett Wishnia. And another personality from Utah, a junior, DiFelice. And another personality, a sophomore from New Jersey, Exter. And one of the co-hosts of the show, a senior from New York, Schochat. And your host, a junior from Massachusetts, DiFelice. Hello and welcome to UMass Sports Weekly. As always, your host DiFelice joined with Clifford, Schochat, and Brett Wishnia right off the top, guys. It's beautiful out. Yes, I was about to say, it's beautiful out. We had to can the ties, enjoy it. It's
about
nice
that time
out.
of the year.
It's nice in here. It's not too bad in here. Sometimes this place gets absolutely 300 degrees. I don't even know how to describe it. But as always, we're going to kick you right off the top. UMass Sports, guys, lacrosse, softball, and baseball. We got Major League Baseball almost a month in already. Tough to believe. NBA season, this is arguably the best time of the season for the NBA.
Is the best time of the season.
Is the best time of the season for the NBA. And of course, the NFL draft is coming up, and NHL is also entering its playoffs. So we will analyze all those for you. But first, let's start it from the top. UMass coming in to last Saturday's game versus Hobart, 8-2, guys. 4-2, I believe, in conference. 4-1 in conference. And they had a great chance to get things back going. Of course, a couple losses there in the way. But UMass lacrosse, number 10 in the nation. Let's go to the highlights of that game. So the Minutemen break the huddle early. As I said, coming into the game, 3-1 in conference. Here's Brian Jacobina, boom, top shelf. Just 2 minutes into the game, scoring his 5th goal. Now Pat Larman, Brett Garber sharing the ball. Now Garber with it, back to Larman. And Larman gets Garber open for just a second, and another beautiful top shelf goal. Garber's 13th of the season. Here still, first period, Jamie Yeaman finds Fred Federico, his 5th of the season. Minutemen go on a 5-0 run early. Now here, third period action. Fred Federico, his 6th goal of the game. Now Sean Morris.
And Morris, oh, what a shot by Sean Morris, being hounded all day by Rafe Mattingly, and Morris just shoveled that one right under.
And of course, the call by Clifford Schochat there. UMass defeats Hobart 13-7.
move away from the ball, pick for the ball, and like I said, we got to really cut down on our turnovers against the big teams. Georgetown next weekend is going to be tough.
Another great win today, 13-7. Minutemen, you guys did a great job.
Yeah, you know, our defense and offense all clicked, and we played well and just played hard together.
Can you just talk about the beginning of the fourth quarter? They seemed to be put a little rush on, but you guys responded really well.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple lucky hops, and Coach always preaches Teflon to us, got to be strong, and just bounce back, and our offense did that by getting 2 goals back, and that was huge for us.
What do you guys look for next week? Huge matchup at Georgetown.
I mean, that's a game you look forward to, you know, since the season starts, and it's finally here, and we're just going to play hard, prepare the same way, and just give it what we got.
And we're here with Jake Dean. Jake, just another day where you guys just dominating on the face-off, you yourself.
It was all right, you know, it was a team effort. I know these guys, 2 guys I was going against were pretty good, but now we got to move on to next week and look forward to playing Georgetown.
Yeah, you talk about next week. What's the mindset going into that game? Nationally televised games at Georgetown on the road?
It's a huge game. You know, I'm going back to Maryland, so I get to go back to my hometown, and not my hometown, but my home state. And we get a chance to play Georgetown, top 10 team in the nation, and we like playing the best. So we're looking forward to it, and we're going to try to prepare for it the best we can.
Yeah, we were able to come out early, get up 4 goals, and once again, Jake Dean did a great job for us in the face-off X. We were able to maintain a lot of possessions. Got a little sloppy at the beginning, turnovers, but you know, we were able to squeeze down, have some great individual goals today by guys just going real hard to the rack. So it was a good all-around win.
Has that been the mindset for this team? I mean, you guys lost to Penn State, and then you came out firing against St. John's 4 in the early going, 10-1 at halftime. You did the same thing today.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to come out and set the tone of the game. You know, Coach has really been harping on that, and you know, we're able to do that today. You know, get out early and start, you know, putting the pressure on them, be the aggressor, as opposed to, you know, coming out a little flat and, you know, letting teams get up on us like we did with Penn State and Albany. So, you know, Coach has been harping on that, and then it's just up to us captains to, you know, get the team ready, and we got a big one next week.
Yeah, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, guys are playing Georgetown next week on the road, nationally televised game. What's the mindset going into that game?
I'd like to say it's just another game, but this is the rivalry game. There's no love lost between us two. It's going to be in their place. I'm sure they're going to have a packed house. I'm sure guys are going to be getting all over us, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Thanks, Sean. Congratulations today, and good luck next week.
All right.
All right, and welcome back. Guys, always good to catch up with them after the game. Always great to hear from the players themselves, but they played well against Hobart, and they needed to. Hobart coming in with a record of 4-6. That was a game that they needed to win. What were some of the keys to winning that game, Cliff?
Well, I think you really have to look at what Sean Morris was saying in that post-game interview, which they did against St. John's as well. And that's coming out early and establishing the tone, establishing the pace of the game, which they did. Against St. John's, they came out with an early 4-0 lead, and they did that just again on Saturday against Hobart. Came out with a 4-0 lead, took a 5-2 lead at halftime, never looked back, never faced more than a 3-goal deficit throughout the game. You know, they had a 3-goal lead. Maintained at least a 3-goal lead throughout the entire game.
The team also had a lot of balance. 9 different players scored, which was very key to helping them get this victory. And their defense was stellar, giving up only 3 goals through the first 3 quarters. They fell apart a little bit in the fourth quarter, but overall, they had a well-balanced game, offense and defense was strong.
And you mentioned the defense. Hey, Jake Dean, 17 for 21 on faceoffs, got him A10 ECAC Defensive Player of the Week.
Right into my next point. Jake Dean, a guy that we've been looking to forever, of course, the senior defenseman for this Minutemen team, part of that Jack Reed defense, guys, of course, one of the best defenses in the nation. But how about that? 17 of 21. Can you imagine being the faceoff guy for Hobart? Winning only 4 all game? That's, of course, an extreme honor. Earned him ECAC Player of the Week. But, guys, you heard every single one of those players say it. This win was great, but what's coming up is even bigger, guys. On the road at Georgetown. Cliff, talk about what type of atmosphere that's going to be.
Well, first off, they needed this win. They needed it almost as a tune-up game because you never want to go into the biggest matchup of the season, basically, you know, with a loss prior to it. So this matchup against Georgetown, this is. I mean, both of these teams have won ECAC titles since 2000. Georgetown now number 8 in the nation, number 7 in the nation. UMass number 8. This is going to be a crowded, frenzy place down in D.C. Georgetown's going to come up fired up. They know the implications of this game, and so do the Minutemen. So for the Minutemen to come into this game with momentum, riding a very nice streak right now, they're definitely going to be pumped up to play. But it's a very tough task.
Georgetown has just won 8 in a row. They lost their last to Loyola, but before that they have won 8 in a row. The key, just like against Hobart, come out early. Start with the pressure, score some quick goals to take the pressure off the goalie and the defense, and that would help them establish an early lead and maybe go to a victory against Georgia.
And it's got to be the veterans that step up. You love to play the young guys so far this year, guys like Jamie Yeaman, Jimmy Connolly, guys have been playing well all this season. But at the same time, these are the type of games that your veterans know how to play. Your juniors, your seniors, Brett Garber, Rory Pedrick, Sean Morris, of course. These are the guys that are going to have to step up, set the tone early for this game.
So that balanced attack against Hobart was, of course, just what the doctor ordered. The team had a couple issues going on, but you got a balanced attack from everybody. Garber, Yeaman, everybody's been scoring lately, and if you can have 4 or 5 different guys to go to other than Sean Morris, I mean, you just get even more lethal if that's possible.
And how about the fact that Doc Schneider is now #1 in the nation in saves per game? I mean, that's unbelievable as a freshman.
Yeah, he had 15 saves against Hobart. He has been solid, and you're right, as a freshman, that is one of the biggest things you can ask for, is to have a solid goalie. But switching gears now, guys, let's go to UMass baseball, another team that I guess has been doing a little bit better lately, but still, it hasn't really turned around. Only 6 wins now for the Minutemen. The last time they went out and played, guys, it was against BC in the opening round of the Beanpot. That got pretty ugly. We have the box score for you here. Check this out. The Minutemen fall to BC 11-3, guys. We only get 4 hits. Our starting pitcher, 2 1/3 innings, 7 earned runs, 6 walks. And UMass struck out 9 times and left 7 men on base. Of course, against a team like BC, you got to hope and you can go out there and compete. And
look at that. BC scored 11 runs on just 9 hits. I mean, 11 runs is a lot on 9 hits.
It's probably a good thing that they didn't get to bat there in the 9th inning. But the bullpen didn't do bad for the Minutemen. 5 2/3 innings, only 4 earned runs, which is much better than the 2 1/3 innings by our starter. But guys, this baseball team now 6-16, 6-18 overall, competing now in the Beanpot. What can we look to expect from this team?
Well, Nick, you always mention the conference record, and right now the conference record, it's getting better. They're 4-8. It's not like they're 0-8, 0-12. It's not like they're 2-10. So I mean, they're treading water right now in the A10. If they keep that up, maybe we could start talking about a playoff berth. I mean, a lot of teams get in the A10 in the playoffs at the end of the season. So as long as they keep treading water in the A10, I think they might be okay.
One problem with this team is they're always down early. You always look, and it's in the first inning, they're down 4-0. They're down 6-2. I mean, you can't win that way. You can't keep on playing catch-up. They have to settle down early, score a few runs in the first inning, take pressure off the pitching, and then maybe go from there. But they have terrible starts to games all the time.
I mean, basically been 2 guys who've been able to pitch well for them. And Aaron Smith's going to start in Fenway next week. It's a positive because he was there last year in Fenway, pitched well, having a good season this year, so maybe he's going to be able to be productive in Fenway.
You're right. It could be perfect timing that it just happens to be that he was on the hill there in Boston. Of course, a lot of emotions for these guys, not all of them from the area, but anytime you're playing at a professional stadium, I mean, you just look around you and you're like, wow, this is a huge stadium. So it's going to be interesting to see how the men compete. Yes, UVC-TV 19 will be there. We're not going to be able to broadcast live from Boston. We just don't have enough cable to run it back here to the station. But we will be there live. Of course, tune in the next upcoming weeks, and we will have coverage of that game for you. But of course, next week we'll be able to talk about it for you. But guys, let's talk about, as we're getting closer to the end of the season, what is like 1 or 2 things that this team needs to do?
I mean, basically, it's the starting pitching. It's been so spotty.
Right.
And Brett, as you just said, when you get down so early in a game, the whole morale of your team is down. Every single game that the Minutemen have scored runs in the first 2 innings this year, they've won. But that doesn't happen often at all, and they're giving their pitchers no support. And then the pitchers, in turn, aren't giving the runners any support, the team any support.
The key to every baseball league, no matter little league all the way to the pros, is pitching. If you don't have any of it, you won't win no matter what league you're playing in. And the Minutemen don't have any pitching right now. And until they get pitching, they're going to lose.
It's basically been, excuse me, sorry to cut you off, but Adamski and Smith the entire season. That's been it.
All right, guys, it has, enough of the lows for a little while. Brett, let's talk about some of the things, the bright spots, some positives that this Minutemen team's been able to do.
Well, what about their second baseman, who just won A10 Co-Rookie of the Week, Adam Tempesta? I mean, he's off to a great start in his freshman year, and he's a bright spot. You can look forward to him in the future years, and you never know, but he's definitely a bright spot on this UMass team.
I mean, Walzak's been pitching in as well. He had an RBI, a couple of hits the other day. So, they have some decent, on the top of the lineup, they have a couple of guys, 3-4 guys batting around 300, over 280. So, in years to come, and it's a young team again. It's a young team. It's a learning experience. Mike Stone, a veteran coach, he's going to nurture these guys for the years coming.
All right, so baseball's trying to light a little bit of fire, get that team going. And you're right, it's a young team. They could turn it around and win the rest, or they could lose them all, or they could be somewhere in between. But nonetheless, they do have a future in front of them with all these young players. Let's go to a team, however, who has figured it out. UMass softball, guys. swept Temple. They're on fire. They've won 15 of their last 16 games. I mean, that's a staggering number.
Yeah.
15 of 16.
And
that's amazing.
And the keys, you know, what's great about this team is that they both have offense and defense. Ballschmitter just pitched her 7th shutout of the season. Her ERA is under .8 right now, which is just unreal. KJ Kelly just hit her 40th career home run as a Minute Women, and
Whitney Malika.
And Whitney Malika was just on Nesson Sports Desk the other day. She's been fantastic.
Brett, why was she on Nesson Sports Desk?
Because she's amazing. Okay, basically because she just set the RBI record in her freshman year for UMass, which is unbelievable. She went 3 for 6 with 2 homers in the last game against Temple with 5 RBIs. I mean, she's a great player, and UMass has a lot to look forward to with her.
And how many games are even left in the season that she already set this record?
The season is not close to being over by any means. She's already set the RBI record, but
I mean, you think about it, they're 24-12. They won 15 out of the last 16 games. If I do the math correctly, that means that they were 9-11 at one point. And now they're
24-12.
Now they're 24-12.
And they're looking great as well, of course. Anytime you can go out there and catch those games, guys, they really provide a lot of offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know everybody's playing intramural softball right now and thinking, you know, we put up 20 runs a game, but they really do. These girls, they can hit, they run, they play the sport.
I'm sure Ballschmitter and Jenna Busa are much appreciative of that fact every single time they go up on that mound.
Well, they had a little bit more luck than the Minute Men. The Minute Women was against BC. Beat them 6-0. That's, of course, a big win anytime you get a win like that against Boston College. But, of course, the Minute Women stealing the spotlight from the Minute Men when Malika got the spot on Nesson. So congratulations to her. And the season's not over, so we're still looking for big things from them. But this segment, however, is over. When we come back, we'll talk to you about Major League Baseball.
UVC-TV 19 because it will give you a great experience when you go into the real world.
UVC is a great place to learn how to shoot video and to edit your programs and air them on the campus network.
UVC is great because we have the most outstanding equipment on campus.
UVC rocks the socks because you can record anything, and I mean anything.
Here at UVC-TV 19, we get things done on time.
People should come down to UVC to learn how to make their own TV programs and be a part of television history.
People should join UVC because it's fun and you experience things that you'll never experience at any other college TV station.
UVC is awesome because you get to meet famous people.
So what are you waiting for? Come visit us online and find out more information about how you can join UVC-TV 19, UMass's only student-run TV station.
Hello and welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. We just did our line change. Rory Hart, Danny Exter joining me, Nick DiFelice. Guys, it's pretty nice out. And when it gets nice out, it means Major League Baseball. And when it means Major League Baseball, for this part of the country, it means Red Sox. And we have been treated, absolutely treated, to an 11-4 start, the second best record in Major League Baseball. And that's coming from the starting pitching.
Sure.
Just talk about some of the, or not even starting pitching, the pitching. And, I mean, this is a question mark. The last 2 or 3 years, what do you think the biggest thing haunting the Red Sox has been? It's been middle relief and closing. And this year, of course, that's all summed up by some nice 25-year-old I've never heard of.
Well, I mean, still, you have to look at the 2 starters, such as Schilling and Beckett. Here comes Schilling, who was coming off the ankle injury, and you weren't too sure if he was going to be, you know, at his typical self. Then you have Beckett, who really was, you know, kind of wearing his welcome out over in Florida. And then he's just looking like a complete stud, said to be the insurance policy for Kurt Schilling, and now he seems to be one of the best 1-2 punches in the American League in terms of starting pitching.
Kurt Schilling leading the league in wins. Beckett, he's got the best ERA in the league. It's pretty much a guaranteed 2 victories when these guys are pitching.
It's come to that, too. The 7 times they've taken the hill, it's been 7-0. Of course, Beckett starts tomorrow, which is Friday, but tonight Tim Wakefield's going. Tim Wakefield, guys, he's starting to get things going as well. He's had the rough start. He's 1-2, but he's starting to settle down. And if he can get things going, that can be scary, a 1-2 and a 3-punch.
Oh well, I mean, if you have Tim Wakefield, filling in that fifth spot in the starting rotation, and the way that Papelbon has been playing, it's a solid 5-man rotation that you have in there, and Papelbon is 7 for 7 in saves. And if you have that rotation, that's how it's going to be, and it's going to be stay like that throughout the entire season. This is a pitching set that is extremely, extremely dangerous.
I can't see Wakefield going anywhere but up from here. He's what, 1-2 right now.
He got rocked in Texas, but everybody does.
Everybody gets rocked in Texas.
Especially him.
Yeah.
But still,
so he's all set.
Coming off the injury he's coming off of, it's going to be slow to get back to 100%, to be the dominant self that he was. But slowly, you climb that hill slowly, you get your confidence back slowly, and then we'll soon see the dominance of Tim Wakefield. And when that happens, with the dominance of Beckett and Schilling and the way that Papelbon's been throwing the ball, this is a very, very dangerous team come playoff time.
All right, guys. Though the Red Sox are 11-4. Manny Ramirez hasn't been off to a start that he's usually used to. Sometimes in April he's hitting 450, sometimes he's hitting 200, and that's one of those years, guys. Talk a little bit about what has happened to Manny. Where is he coming from? When's he going to pick it up?
Listen, it's time to get excited about baseball, but if your stud player isn't doing too well, it's not time to get completely nervous. I mean, we're only 15 games into the season. Granted, he's hitting 255. His slug is 275. On-base percentage of 397, though. But again, it's 15 games into the season. Things start slow. A guy like Manny Ramirez, the kind of hitter that he is, it's all consistency. It's all playing through the hard times, which is now. Better to have the hard times now than come maybe late in the later months. He's going to start slow, but then you know what? He's going to hit that stride where he's going to bring that batting average up, and then it's going to be dangerous.
I know that's what he was looking to do coming into the season. He said he was going to work on, he does this every year. He comes in looking to work on something to improve from the last year. This year it was working on his step with his front leg. He thought he was taking too big of a step, and it was slowing down his bat speed a little. He wanted to try and bring his average up, maybe put his power numbers down a little bit. Still working on it. I'm not nervous.
Well, this is a guy people write off as somebody that doesn't work on things. He's a lazy guy. But I mean, think about it. A hitter like him, you don't get to where you are being lazy.
Well, don't
it's
forget
that simple.
Don't forget too. Here's a guy that had all this trade rumor and trade speculation surrounding him. So you're going to tell me that he's not going to try and have a great year and try and say, hey, you're calling me lazy. You're saying that I shouldn't be a part of this team, or I'm worried about getting traded and worrying about helping my team get wins. I'm telling you right now, if I have Manny Ramirez on my fantasy team, obviously I'm not letting him go. I'm going to be happy when I get him come later on in the season because he's a guy that's going to put up big numbers.
And think about as of lately, if you want to look at it from that point of view. Take the first 15 games, he struggled. I mean, the first 7 games, and now the last 8, he's been hitting the ball very hard.
Oh.
He's got his first extra base hit. Yet to knock one out, but still, he's actually starting to get 2, 3 hits even a game. He's getting walked more, so he's seeing the ball better. These are all signs of things that are going to eventually help him turn around.
And even when he's getting out, he's ripping the ball.
Yeah.
But I mean, once you turn that corner and once you get through your struggles, then that's when things start to go for you. Things end up looking better. So listen, Manny turns the corner, and then it's only going to be uphill in a good way, where he's going to get better for the rest of the season.
All right, guys, David Wells managed to make his way into the spotlight again. This time, however, it wasn't about his pitching. It was about his mouth, of course, questioning Bud Selig. Can we expect anything out of David Wells, whether it's him talking or actually eventually pitching?
I mean, I'm real disappointed in David Wells. Here's a guy that when he was a Yankee, I really looked up to him in the sense that he was a dominant, respectable pitcher in the league. And now he's just let his mouth get out of control. He let his weight get out of control. He really is just looking to me as a bum in common sense and layman terms, because what is he doing? And that's a whole lot of nothing.
He's old, he's fat, he's frustrated, and so he's letting his mouth run because he can't play anymore.
He's not going to get into the spotlight for his numbers.
Fastball.
Not going to get into the spotlight for his numbers. So you know what? Hey, I got a mouth like everybody else, so what the heck? I'm going to stir up some trouble.
Yeah, Rory, you mentioned his fastball. I remember the first time he pitched, I remember seeing 84, and I'm going, I hope that's not his fastball. And he got roped, and that was that. So Big Mouth Boomer, as you can see there on the bottom of our screen, really, he has nothing to back it up right now.
No.
He is really at a point where you don't want to be. In April, he's still trying to figure out what's wrong with him. My knee hurts, my shoulder hurts. I'm 43 years old. It's starting to catch up with him. Can he possibly be traded? Can he be moved to the bullpen? Is there any way to salvage David Wells?
Well, this is what's going to happen. He's going to move to the DL, or they're going to just send him right down to the minors. There's no
but he's
trade.
43. Does he want to pitch in the minors?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. He has no trade value whatsoever. He has no value at all. The guy's pitching like he's never been in the league before. He's out of shape. There's no positives going for David Wells right now.
Cut your losses.
Yeah.
See you later, David Wells, as soon as we can. As soon as we can.
Mid-season. I don't think that's been done yet in baseball, but Red Sox might have to find a way. All right, guys, what's been good so far? Good offensively and good defensively, if you can pick those two apart.
I mean, in the sense of offense for the Red Sox, you have to look at David Ortiz coming right out of the baseball world class, just on absolute fire. Left that Dominican team, coming right back here into the American League and hitting .316, 6 home runs, .719 slugging average. I mean, this guy has really picked up since the World Baseball Classic, and it's just pure consistency, rocking the ball, bringing people home. I mean, David Ortiz has definitely been the star of this team.
I think you got to look at Trot Nixon. Every time you need a big hit, the guy seems to get up and he's coming through. Also, Kevin Youkilis steps into the leadoff position, and he's been ripping the ball lately. 3 for 4 last night. Opened the game off with a home run. He really set the tone for the Sox.
And in that Patriots Day game, of course, beating out that ground ball that eventually led out to Loretta. So you heard his teammates say, I don't know if any of you caught the post-game interviews with players. I think they caught Varitek and Nixon, and they both said it flat out. Kevin Youkilis plays baseball that hard every day, day in and day out. And he is so valuable to this team. There's a reason why he's playing first base and not JT Snow or anybody else in the system. There's a reason why Kevin Youkilis is playing.
Hey, anytime you get a hard-working guy who's going to put his heart and hustle into every single game, that guy deserves to be in the starting rotation, in the field, up at bat, hitting the ball, doing everything, because it's a trickle-down effect. You have a guy doing that, it's going to trickle down to everybody else. And you know what? If I have a guy like that on my team, I want him to be playing, and I want him to be like that every day, day in and day out, and that's just how he is.
All right, guys, let's talk about Alex Gonzalez, Rory. Sorry to cut you out there. But let's think about it. Alex Gonzalez, he's not hitting well at all. He's hitting just around 200. I mean, Rory, where can this team go with Alex Gonzalez? Is he going to turn it around? Is this going to be what it's like all year?
He's got to do something to improve his bat speed. You can tell he's guessing on a lot of pitches. He's swinging at bad pitches. I don't really know what he can do. He's playing solid defense, though, so that's...
He's a Gold Glover.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, we're talking about the struggles of a Manny Ramirez, but who doesn't, who's hitting 255. Then you come down to the struggles of an Alex Gonzalez who's hitting 196. Obviously, there's a big difference there, but in the sense of Alex Gonzalez, I mean, you're hitting 196. You're the starting shortstop. You got to at least maybe be hitting 225. You got to have something in the mid-200. Hitting 196.
They call 250 respectable.
Yeah, sure. Oh, no, of course. I mean, and 196 is just a joke, especially as a starting shortstop and on a team such as the Boston Red Sox. He came from Florida. So to be on a team that's as demanding as Boston, you got to put numbers up.
Are we expecting too much, though? Yes, it's the Boston Red Sox. It's a juggernaut offense. But he did come in here with the Gold Glove. He's there for defense. Should any of us be worried if he's hitting 196, or does he need to start producing?
I mean, listen, Manny Ramirez is going to hit his peak sooner or later, but maybe Alex Gonzalez's peak could be, more later than sooner. I mean, eventually he's going to get on some kind of a stride. He's going to get on some kind of a streak, and you hope it's sooner. But if it's going to be maybe towards the latter months, you hope he gets some kind of streak going.
All I have to say is I don't think 196 can cut it in Boston. If he wants to stay on this team, he's got to pick it up, or else he's going to be gone soon.
All right, guys, let's talk about some players who have been absolutely on fire by the definition. Chris Shelton, who's 25 years old, has 9 home runs. Albert Pujols, who's 27 years old, has 10 home runs. These two guys are making a home run race in April. 10 home runs in April.
I mean,
it's the 20th. It's not the end of the month. It's the 20th, and he has 10 home runs.
I mean, I think if you see the word for consistency, you see a picture of Alex Pujols right there. This guy is the pure definition of consistency. You know we're going to get out of him. He brings people home on base when they're on base. The guy just knows how to hit the ball. He's patient. I mean, what more can you ask for from your star player?
The past couple years, Albert Pujols has really stepped up and set himself apart from, the regular players in the league. He is definitely probably the best hitter in the league now. And the other thing is these two guys aren't just hitting home runs. They're at the top of the league as far as average goes, too.
Are they going to keep pitching to Pujols? Are they ever going to take the bat out of his hand?
I mean, it'd be a strategy to not pitch the Pujols, approach him in the Barry Bonds kind of a sense where you purposely walk him, 4 straight balls. But, I mean, if you do pitch the Pujols, you're going to be asking for trouble.
At this point, it looks like they're going to keep throwing.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's early. Remember, hey, 50
I'd love to
games
see him hit
season.
80 home runs. I don't know. I mean,
as long as the ball keeps coming in, I think Pujols is going to keep sending it out.
Oh, yeah.
But a guy who has not hit 1 home run yet, the guy's Barry Bonds. The knee, he's still not 100%. He's really not hitting well at all. He's very, very well under 200. How about our Bonds report? Danny, where does Barry Bonds stand right now?
I mean, I think the thing is that Barry Bonds' mind is in everything else but baseball.
You really think he cares about everything else?
Oh, my gosh.
This is the most arrogant guy in baseball. He admits it himself.
The thing is, though, when you're in every possible magazine, there was a huge I got my new ESPN recently. This much about Barry Bonds took up that month's issue. I mean, there's just so much going on. He got another syringe thrown at him. He's got all these distractions. It's getting ridiculous. You have all this happening, and you know, magazines that are focused on you. Okay, then it was NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, and Barry Bonds. I mean, there's so much going on, so much happening, where it's just really just focusing on Barry Bonds. I mean, the mind can only take so much.
He got the muscle rub thrown at him too. I don't know if you saw that. Guy got arrested the other day. But as far as Barry Bonds goes, I think he is still the most dangerous hitter in the league. I don't think he should really be worried about it. I don't know if you guys have watched the last few games. He's been hitting, and he's also, what is he, 12th in the league in on-base percentage because he's been walked 1,000 times. Right.
If it's in the 7th or 8th inning, in a first base open, guaranteed pitch.
Oh, you're not gambling against
around him.
It doesn't matter how big of a slump Barry Bonds is. You do not take any kind of gamble on the man whatsoever.
He'll pull what Manny pulls. They'll hit 1 home run, and then the next 5 days they'll hit 5 home runs.
He had a great spring training, and as far as what the reports say, I mean, his knees look awful, and he's got a cantaloupe on his elbow. So I mean, he's going to get better.
All right, guys, quickly, let's round up the rest of the league. News from around the league, Rory.
Baltimore 9-7 quietly, 2nd place in the AL East. And Chicago White Sox, 10-5. They had an awful start, but they're starting to pick it up.
How about how great the team in Queens is doing? And that's right, the New York Mets they're starting a 10-4 start. 2 guys at the corners that you got to really be looking at in that infield, and David Wright, all-season pickup Carlos Delgado. Those guys are playing great defense. They're really hitting the ball. The Mets are going to give it, you heard it here, are going to give the Atlanta Braves a run for the NL East. That's going to be a great run throughout that entire season to see which one's going to finish on top. Watch out for the Mets.
All right, guys, Pedro just got his 200th career win. And you're right, David Wright, Carlos Delgado, that's going to be a dangerous middle corner infield for the Mets. But we're going to wrap it up here with baseball. When we come back, NBA playoffs right around the corner.
You know, do what I've always wanted at a college TV station.
Come to UVC-TV 19 where you can learn how to use all of our equipment.
UVC is awesome because we offer workshops that train our members in all aspects of TV production.
UVC's got a great sports department for a lot of opportunities for our members.
UVC is great because it's run for students and by students.
The skills the students learn at Union Video Center would be applicable to any job in the telecommunications field.
Students building students doing students things.
So what are you waiting for? Come visit us online to find out more information about how you can join UVC-TV 19, UMass's only student-run TV station.
Hello and welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. Did a little more switching. Clifford, Schochat back. Danny Exter still here, and I'm your host, Nick DiFelice. Guys, it's NBA playoff season.
Best time of the year. My favorite time of the year.
I love it. Favorite time of the year. You go out and call it best time of the season. I got to beg to differ. I think March.
Are you ready for this?
Are you ready for this? I'm about to pretty much hand this to you guys.
Ding. Let's get it going.
Give this to you guys and then just go take a walk around the studio.
Round 1, baby.
Yeah, round 1. All right,
like in Rocky with Apollo. Are you ready?
From the top, it's determined. The East, the West, the brackets, the matchups. It's been determined. What are we looking forward to? What 2 matchups out of the East can you talk about?
Bron is in the playoffs, baby. For the first time, the NBA in a few years has something to legitimately get excited about ever since the Lakers dynasty ended a few years ago. LeBron is now in the playoffs. Let's see if he can win a series. Nick, you look at the matchups. You take a look. Miami Heat against the Chicago Bulls. These are our featured matchups. The Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Baby Bulls. Danny, personally, the Bulls, I really think they're going to give the Heat some problems.
Well, here's the thing, Cliff. Personally, I think the Wizards are going to say hello and welcome to the playoffs to the Cleveland Cavaliers by beating him. Probably it's going to take all 7 games to do it. Hello, Bron, welcome to the playoffs, but you're not going to get anywhere.
You don't think Larry Hughes now jumping from one team to the other? You don't think this is a...
I think Gilbert Arenas, Antoine Jamison, the way that Brandon Haywood's been playing, Zdrunas Ilgauskas is coming off. He's been injured. Granted, hey, you got LeBron James. Hold on.
Guess what?
This is why this makes us interesting. You have LeBron James. Granted, he's one of the best players in the league, but you got a lot of depth on the Wizards.
Guess what? I'm going to completely disagree with Danny Exter. Shock to the world.
What?
First of all, the team with the best player in that series is going to win that series. It's LeBron James. I understand the Wizards did win 3 out of the 4 games this season against the Cleveland Cavaliers, but it's playoff time, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have some players who's been there. Daniel Marshall's been there, and they got some wing players right there. They got Larry Hughes. Daniel Marshall's going to step out for 3-pointers. Zdrunas Ilgauskas is down low. Are you kidding me? Brendan Haywood over Zdrunas Ilgauskas?
But hold on, Cliff.
I'm going to force you two to pick one. Now, pick one and pick who the biggest player for that team is going to be.
In those two
matchups.
Oh,
the Miami-Chicago matchup and the Cleveland.
Okay, well, in terms of the Miami-Chicago matchup, it's going to be Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, that's the difference maker right there. The baby Bulls have no big men. They're all guards with Dang, Heinrich, no Chion. You're telling me that Tyson Chandler is going to match up on Shaquille O'Neal? Not a chance.
But the interesting thing is, you look at Shaq down the regular season. This is not same old Shaq. This is not Shaq who's going to go out and get you 40 points, 15 rebounds in a playoff game.
All right, you go.
This is the Shaq that is getting into foul trouble early in games lately. This is the Shaq that's not exactly at 100%. This is Shaq that tires down. I'm not saying the Bulls are going to win this series by any means. I'm saying the Bulls are going to give the Heat a lot of problems. The Heat have absolutely no perimeter defense whatsoever. The Heat are the worst defensive team in the Eastern Conference right now coming into the playoffs, and that's a shock with a Pat Riley as their coach. But other than Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal, who is there to step up? They're banged up. Jason Williams is hurt. They're guys all season long. This has been an injury-riddled season for the Heat. The Bulls are going to pose some problems. They're going to have Gordon, Heinrich, and Dang all stepping on the perimeter. This series might go 6 or 7.
But you want to know something, Cliff? It's been known that Shaquille O'Neal says that he takes the regular season as a workout for the playoffs. He really does take his game to another level when it comes playoff time. I think Shaq and Wade is going to be too much for Heinrich and whoever else, Tyson Chandler, you want to say.
Nevertheless, the Heat are done after the second round. The Heat are not getting past the second round.
All right, so you guys think it's definitely Miami in that matchup over the Baby
Yes.
Bulls? You don't think the Baby Bulls have enough power?
They're
going to give them a run.
They'll give them
Absolutely.
a run.
Okay,
because
so
their guard plays so strong.
We can look for a 6 or 7 game series.
Absolutely. And same thing I think with Washington and Cleveland.
I think Cleveland's going to go nuts. I think LeBron's going to have a field day. Cleveland in 5, I say.
Cleveland in 5.
Cleveland in 5. Gilbert Arenas and Anton Jameson will score their points, but other than that, the Wizards aren't going to get much. Cleveland's a better defensive team. Washington gives over 100 points a game.
I just think it's not enough experience on Cleveland. Your star player, it's his first time in the playoffs.
So what?
So Gilbert Arenas has been there. Jameson has been there.
He's one of the top 3 players in the league.
Big deal. So
they won a 7-game series last year against Chicago, so now all of a sudden they have all this experience?
So is Kobe Bryant, but Kobe Bryant's not getting out of the first round.
We're not going to the West just yet. Wait right there, young man. We are staying in the East.
All right, but I'm just saying, I think there's too much experience, too much depth on the Wizards. I feel it's going to take 7 games to knock out the Cavaliers.
On another interesting note, just to switch over to another series, the New Jersey Nets, who we've been praising over the last few weeks on the show.
Really got the stink.
They really got the worst end of the deal. They're going to win their first series matchup against the Indiana Pacers, but if you had to pick an opponent that the Nets did not want to play, it's that Pacer team. The Pacers beat them in the season series 2-1. They'll grind you out. Jermaine O'Neal's healthy now. Page is there. Steven Jackson. They got Anthony Johnson on the bench. Ex-Net. I'm sure he's going to be looking for some revenge. Tinsley's there. He knows how to play half-court ball, and the Nets aren't going to be able to run as much as they want to against this Indiana team.
Well, the reason that team lost so many was Jermaine O'Neal. That middle stretch there when Jermaine O'Neal was out, they were not effective. He's back, and I don't think New Jersey has an answer.
Here is the inside-outside combination that Indiana has wanted all season long with Jermaine O'Neal and Peja Stojakovic. And that's going to be extremely dangerous because it's going to be interesting to see what big man on the New Jersey Nets is going to step up and guard Jermaine O'Neal. Because granted, the guard play on the Nets I think is better than the Pacers. But the big man, the one big man, Jermaine O'Neal, is much better than Nene Kristic, than Uncle Robinson, all right? Better than those guys.
Uncle Cliffy could play some D. But
Uncle Cliffy's 40 years old.
Uncle Cliffy's 39 years old. He's going to play
pushing 40.
Spot minutes. The thing I like about Kristic, though, is that he can answer offensively.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what he's been doing. If they are able to neutralize O'Neal on the offensive end with Kristic, the Nets are going to have an easier time in this series. I still say the Nets will win it in 7 games.
Jermaine O'Neal knows that this team is on his back. He's going to pick it up. He's going to step it up, eat Kristic up for dinner, and then that's going to be that.
Nets in 7.
Oh, but yes, the Nets will still win. But I'm just saying that inside matchup is going to be key because O'Neal really will step it up.
All right, guys, I believe we have a phone call. Caller, if you are there, can you hear us, caller?
Hello?
Caller, you there?
Oh.
I think caller,
hello.
You there?
Hey, I'm here.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I love the show, boys. I love the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're talking about NBA. Do you have any predictions for the Eastern playoff race?
I was wondering what you guys got the Bulls doing. Coming off 5-6 game winning streak right now.
The Bulls. The Bulls. I agree. They have definitely been hot, and we just talked about it. Miami.
Of course. I mean, you talk about a team that finished the season on a 10-2 run. Basically, they beat Miami to get into the playoffs in Miami. But at the same time, this is playoff time. Pat Riley's going to have his team prepared. The Bulls will give them a little bit of a run. They have good defensive pressure, and I think the perimeter game is going to pose a lot of problems.
If there's an X factor on the Chicago Bulls team, I really think it's Luol Deng. Here's a guy that when the Bulls, when he scores over 20 points, the Bulls win a lot easier. You know what you're going to get out of Heinrich. You know what you're going to get out of Gordon. So, I mean, then you have Dang, who really is the X factor coming in and playing there. You know, you go small. If he scores over 20, this is an extremely dangerous team.
All right, guys, let's do East Pick'ems now. Detroit, Milwaukee. Is there any chance for Milwaukee?
Detroit in 4.
I mean, here's a team that
say it.
No, Milwaukee was 6, and it's so funny how they just dropped to the 8th. Oh, not only did you drop to the 8th seed, but oh, you get to play the Pistons.
You're better off just losing everything after that point. You don't want to be.
I'd rather take the draft pick if I'm a team right now. I understand you want to make some money with some playoff ticket sales, but come on, take the draft pick.
It might be a pretty good thing for Bogut, too, to get a little playoff
yeah,
experience.
That's true.
So we already said Miami over Chicago, but it's going to be a good series.
Yep.
You both think New Jersey's going to beat Indiana?
7 games.
It's going to go all 7. Indiana just has a lot of experience on that team. Peja has a lot of experience. O'Neal has a lot of experience. All those guys, Steven Jackson, they all have experience. But I just think the guard play of the Nets is way too much, and they're going to overcome and beat the Pacers.
You guys gonna?
That's the best series in the East right now.
You think so?
I think Indiana's better. I think they have way more playoff experience.
I think
Cleveland, they're deeper.
I think Cleveland and Washington is going to be the best series right now in the Eastern Conference.
Cleveland in 5.
Washington in 7.
Cleveland in 5, Washington in 7. All right, guys. There's no chance for upsets here, other than maybe Indiana.
Let's get to the West, then I think there's a lot more upsets in the West.
Okay, so we'll go upsets in the West. All right, now Western playoff picture is also set as well. Guys, some very interesting matchups there.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the Kobe Bryant.
This is going to be a
Kobe Bryant show.
It's going to be better than the whole playoffs in general. But how about Phoenix versus Lakers? This is going to be Sean Marion, Steve Nash versus Kobe. That's it. That's it. It's going to be Kobe,
can't say anybody
Marion,
else on that
Nash.
team. No, you can't say anybody else on that team.
This is the thing what I like about the Lakers. I had the Lakers winning this series because Mike D'Antoni, I don't know what he's thinking. Phoenix won the season series 3-1. Kobe scored 39, 37, 43, and 51 this season against the Suns. The Phoenix won the series, but right now the Lakers are peaking. They're playing good ball. Smush Parker's playing well. Kobe is playing out of his mind. Even they're getting production, and Kwame Brown had a couple of double.
You didn't say Kwame Brown.
He had a couple of double-doubles.
I'll say Boris Diaw then if you say Kwame Brown.
Fine, he had two triple-doubles this season. Kwame Brown had a couple of double-doubles last week. The Lakers are playing good defensive ball. Everybody is buying into that Phil Jackson triangle offense. Mike D'Antoni, the Phoenix Suns head coach, said, you know what, we're going to let Kobe do whatever he wants during this series. We're going to shut down the other guys. Well, if 2 guys, let's say Lamar Odom and somebody else decides to step up for that Laker team, this series is over before it even started.
But think about what D'Antoni's trying to do. If Kobe has a cold night, your chances of winning are through the roof.
Is that going to happen in the playoffs?
No, I know, but just think about what D'Antoni's trying to do.
If
you want to waste Marion's energy chasing around Kobe,
hold on. Marion's not going to be the only one guarding him. Boris Diaw's going to guard him too. Boris Diaw is such a utility player on offense and on defense. Kobe's going to see so many different faces. Barbosa might even guard him because he's long and athletic. Kobe's going to see so many faces.
How is he going to see different faces when the Suns don't play half-court defense?
Oh, the Suns will give up 130.
They don't play half-court defense.
But you know what, though?
Kobe is going to get any and every shot that he can possibly want.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cliff just gave away the Lakers' game plan. Obviously, let Kobe score, play defense on everybody else. You're telling me Lamar Odom hasn't stepped up in a game.
Hasn't stepped up?
Has not stepped up in a playoff game since the day he's entered the NBA.
When's the last time he played a playoff game?
He was on the Clippers forever
He's never played with Miami.
He carried them through that series along with Dwayne Wade. They won a game. They won a series that year. They beat the Hornets in the first round.
I just don't think Lamar Odom and Kobe Bryant is equal to a Sean Marion.
Lamar Odom had averages about 17 points and 9 rebounds and 5 assists in a 7-game series.
What did Kobe Bryant average in assists for the season?
What's the difference?
Exactly. Steve Nash gets that entire team involved.
Nash is the only player in the league averaging a double-double in points and assists.
When you put the word playoffs in a guy like Kobe Bryant's mind, he has the ability to take not only a game over and not only a team on his back, but take an entire series over, and that's what I think it's going to happen.
He has that afterburner effect. It's the Kobe Bryant effect in basketball. It's the Tiger Woods effect in golf. It's very well known. It's the Mariano Rivera effect in the playoffs. It just happens.
And you can't
win a game, especially a playoff game, all by yourself. You need help.
He's done it before.
Steve Nash gets everybody involved. I just said Boris Diaw.
I would have never said Boris
Diaw 3 years ago. He's so good.
How do you know these guys are going to step up in the playoffs then? How do you know Eddie House? So how do you know they're going to be able to knock down their open shots in the playoffs? Why is Boris Diaw? Why is Eddie House? Why is Leonardo Barbosa going to be able to knock down shots in this playoffs?
I think the thing that gets a team to advance in the playoffs is your point guard. The way your point guard plays, the way he establishes your team is what's going to be successful in this team. Smush Parker is nowhere near the abilities of a Steve Nash Nash. I think because of the point guard play of Nash, the way he gets everybody involved, he's also able to take the shot. He'll drive to the lane. Everybody will collapse on him, leaving people open for wide open shots.
Listen, I'm so glad you said that because, Nick, you want to talk about point guards that are you know, the #1, that are so important. Sam Cassell on that Clippers team, he's going to carry him through that first round.
Yeah, I'm going to force you two to make a pick right now. Is it the Lakers or not?
No.
Yes.
Not the Lakers.
Lakers are going to the conference finals.
Oh my God! Is
You
this
heard
guy
it here.
serious?
You heard it here. Lakers
He's
going
joking.
to the conference finals.
No.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why the Lakers are going to the conference
Wake
finals.
me up when you're done.
Because Dallas has
Okay.
to play San Antonio in the semifinals. The Lakers, one of these under-radar teams, are going to get the opportunity to go to the conference finals. It could be the Lakers, though.
All right, let's go to that other series we featured.
right.
Let's go. The
Denver
Clippers versus Denver, of course.
I love that
Carmelo's
matchup.
Denver Nuggets can be, if he's healthy, this could be very interesting
If
for
you
the
want-
Clippers.
But how about the Denver Nuggets? They play all season long. They win their division. They're the 3 seed. They don't even have home court advantage. The Clippers have the better overall record. David Stern's got to fix that policy. But right now, if I'm the LA Clippers and I have Elton Brand down low and I have Sam Cassell knocking down big shots, Sam I am doing what he does in the playoffs, and right now the Nuggets have Kmart injured. They have no low post presence. Cammy's good there on defense, but he can't post up. He's hurt right now. They have no answer for Elton Brand, and also the Nuggets have no perimeter shooting. In the NBA playoffs, you play an inside-outside game. You put it down low, you wing it, you bring it outside for a three-point shot. The Nuggets have none of that.
You know, it's very interesting. You're talking about getting your injuries done early on in the season. Now the Nuggets have done the complete opposite, where their injuries are all the way towards the end of the season, where they're going into the playoffs with their star players, Kenyon Martin, Earl Boykins, Carmelo Anthony, Marcus Camby, all those guys are hurt. Granted, they'll play in the playoffs, but they will not be 100%.
They don't have an outside shooter.
And then you look at a team such as the Clippers, hot, healthy, hungry.
Back.
You have a veteran, proven winning point guard in Sam Cassell, proven probably one of the best top 3 power forwards in the league, and an Elton Brand with Coutinho Mobley, Corey Maggette. Chris Kamen's a monster on the boards. You have all those guys that are hungry, that want to win, with a veteran, proven point guard. Watch out for the Los Angeles
And also,
Clippers.
you look at their coach. You look at their coach in Mike
Coach of the
Dunleavy.
year.
This is a guy who's taken the Lakers to the finals after Pat Riley left with Magic Johnson and basically a bunch of nobodies on that team. This is a guy with a lot of experience. The Clippers are going to come in prepared. They have the home court advantage. I see the series going maybe 6. Clippers are going to hand it
If
to
the
Denver.
Clippers hit their shots early and they have no answer for Elton Brand, this is going to be a very fast.
And you know when these games come down to the clutch, you know who's getting the ball, and that's Sam I am, and you know who's knocking down those shots.
He wants it. Sam Cassell is the
That's
only
why they
kind
brought
of
him in.
player that'll say, you know what, this is my game. I'm taking over. We got to win. Do it through me.
All right, guys. Nonetheless, it's going to be a good series, but you got to think Denver got there somehow. There's no reason that they just made it to the third.
How bad is their
But
division?
you know
Nick?
what?
Their division isn't good at all.
Who else is in their division?
It's
Portland, Seattle?
Utah. It's Utah, New Orleans. It's Houston.
Houston. Okay, there you go. Biggest flop in the league.
Houston won
was
one
Houston.
division game the entire season.
So I mean, Grant, listen, they're in a weak division, all right. But still, they are there for a reason. Nick, with a Carmelo Anthony, with a defensive presence of a Marcus
clutch
Camby,
player now.
a very good fast break presence in a Kenyon Martin. Here is a team that has a great core, but will they be healthy and will they be able to play together in the sense that they haven't lost any kind of consistency or any kind of companionship because they've all been hurt?
I just really think it's going to come down to the fact that the Denver Nuggets are not going to be able to do anything about
Too many
Elton
weapons
Brand.
on the
They're not
Clippers.
going to be able to do anything about Elton Brand, and at the same time, they have absolutely no perimeter shooting.
All right, so guys, quickly, Clippers. Yes, no.
Clips.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Clips
Clips.
and 6.
You with Clips. All right,
Clips and 6.
how about San Antonio, Sacramento? Does Sacramento even stand a
You know what,
chance?
though? This is
That's
interesting.
a very
Think about
interesting
that.
series.
Because I have 3 players as to why that's very interesting. Ron Artest, Mike Bibby, and Brad Miller. Those 3 guys, that's a great core that's been in the playoffs. They have experience. They all have been playing together great. Winning percentage has been up since the addition of Ron Artest. Watch out for the Kings. Absolutely giving the Spurs a run for their money.
This is not a team the Spurs want to play in the first round.
No way.
The Sacramento Kings are peaking. They're all healthy. They're playing their best ball of the season, while the Spurs, I understand they won the most games in franchise history, but you have an unhealthy Tim Duncan, you have an unhealthy Nick Van Exel, and even a little bit of a banged-up Manu Ginobili.
Sure.
Michael Finley's getting older. Tony Parker, he's been great for the Spurs
Can't do it
this
by
season.
himself, though.
He cannot do it by himself. The Spurs will squeak by in this series. I think this baby could go 7.
All right, guys. Dallas, Memphis, the one we haven't talked about.
Dallas.
Does Pau Gasol have enough power with him to even put up a fight?
This team has grown together. They've gotten much better together. But still, the way that Dallas has been playing defensively, finally the way that they've been playing defensively matched their offense, it's too much. I feel bad for Memphis because they had a great season. Definitely been getting better together. Definitely gelled this season. It'll be a big-time learning block. It'll probably go maybe 5 games.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't see this series going more than 5 games. Memphis hasn't won a playoff game yet. the last 2 years under Coach Fratello. He's really done a great job. I think they'll be able to get a couple of games under their belt, get a couple of games of experience. But, you know, after all, Dirk Nowitzki, Josh Howard, Marquise Daniels, all these guys.
So deep for this.
Jason Terry, so deep for this Mavericks team. And, you know, you really can't see the Mavericks faltering. And what's going to be great, though, is that Mavericks-Spurs second-round series.
Sure. All right, guys, believe it or not, we're out of time because you guys ate up a pretty good portion of our hour. But nonetheless, these NBA playoffs, they're going to be good. They're going to be wild. They're going to be fun to watch.
Very interesting.
But I do believe the West is the better bracket.
I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
It's more dangerous in the West. I think their 1 through 6 is better than the East 1 through 6. But nonetheless, we're going to have to go to commercial now.
Phoenix.
When we come back, NHL playoffs and the NFL draft.
Lakers in conference finals. Mark it down. Welcome to UMass Sports Sunday.
UMass really exploited that early lead, that initial boost, and then that road to the rest of the
Welcome back to UMass Sports Weekly. Some new commercials there for you guys to enjoy as it gets recast during the week, and we're all over the place, internet, ACTV, but we welcome all you viewers from outside areas that don't have a chance to watch us live, but do have a chance. But we welcome to the show Brandon Harms, welcome back Brett Wishnia. And guys, let's go into it. We just finished the most brutal NBA segment I think we've ever done. Can you guys do that with the NHL? Do you guys think you can?
We don't hate each other as much as the other two.
Oh, okay.
That's right, we're good friends.
But, all right, let's talk about it. The NHL bracket, the East and the West, it's set up. Is Ottawa the favorite? I don't know. Let's talk about starting with Brandon.
Well, I guess you'd have to say Ottawa might be the favorite, but I don't know. Injuries have plagued this team all year. They have a guy, Ray Emery, starting at goalie behind Dominik Hasek, who's been hurt all year. I don't know. This could be a monumental 8-over-1 that we might see.
I definitely think it's going to be tough for Ottawa with Ray Emery in goal. I mean, you can't trust a guy like him. If Hasek was healthy, Ottawa would run away with the East, I think. But with the goaltending situation as it is now, I do not think that Ottawa will go to the Stanley Cup Finals. That being said, I think they will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I don't see them making it to the Stanley Cup.
Let's just talk about some of those matchups in the East, the New York-New Jersey matchup. Does everybody have their eyes locked on that matchup?
I originally thought it was going to be New York with the home court ice advantage as a 3-seed over a 6-seed, but they struggled late in the season, losing their last 5 games. Lundqvist played the last game, but he's been hurt for most of the past few weeks. I still like the Rangers, but I'm not as optimistic as I was last week.
Likewise, I was on that Ranger bandwagon. I mean, I figured with Jaromir Jagr and Henrik Lundqvist, the Sweden gold medal winner, I think they could make a run at the finals. I'm looking at Carolina right now. This team is perfect for the new NHL format with speed and offense. I think this team could be the team that makes that big run.
So let's talk about some of those other matchups, maybe even in the West. What are some matchups you guys think that are going to be great matchups or just flat-out blowouts?
I'm looking a little bit in the future towards Detroit and Calgary. These two teams, very physical. I think they're going to beat up on each other in the second round. But also, I'm also looking at San Jose with our old friend Joe Thornton. Boy, do Boston really misses him because since our trade, San Jose has gone 36, 15, and 4. So I mean, that's as good as anyone in the NHL, so watch out for them too.
My most intriguing matchup, back to the Rangers-Devils. I really think this is going to be a great series. I mean, the rivalry is huge. Both teams don't have to travel, so both teams will be very fresh for every game. I think this series will go 7. I don't see any way it doesn't. I think it's going to be a great series.
All right, guys, moving on to the NFL. Of course, the NHL playoffs starting very soon. That Rangers matchup is going to be nationally televised on NBC, so any fans out there that want to tune into that nationally televised game there on NBC. But let's moving over to another nationally televised event, the NFL Draft. It's coming up, guys, and I'm sure there's been all this talk about Leinart here, Vince Young there. You guys are going to give us the final decisive answers as to where they're going.
All right, well, I'm sticking to what I said last week. I think Reggie Bush will go to Houston as at the #1 pick. New Orleans will then take Mario Williams at #2. Leinart will go to Tennessee at 3. If the Jets don't trade up, which I think they're still looking to trade up maybe to get Leinart at 2, I think they'll take DiFelice Ferguson at 4, and I'm still going with that surprise pick, Vince Young to Green Bay. But if Vince Young doesn't go to Green Bay, I think he'll fall down much further than people expect in the draft.
In the draft, I'm psyched for this. April 29th and April 30th, turn on your TV. Make sure that you get all your homework done because this is a lot of fun. Who cares that it's 15 minutes per pick? I don't care. But starting with my number 5, Green Bay, I can't see how you can have Vince Young as your quarterback. You have Favre. He might be returning. He might not. But you also have Aaron Rodgers. This kid is good, and he fell big right into Green Bay's lap. They are very happy with this kid. So I have Green Bay taking a defensive playmaker. Everyone knows him, A.J. Hawk. This guy's a stud. But watch out for Vernon Davis, tight end from Maryland. Make some big plays for the Packers next year. The Jets, I have DiFelice Ferguson. Everyone knows about their quarterback injuries. This kid will help them out. Tennessee and New Orleans, I have them making a flip-flop. They trade their picks. I have Tennessee at first taking Mario Williams and trading that pick to the New Orleans Saints, in return getting Matt Leinart, of course, quarterback. Norm Chow, as the Titans' offensive coordinator, used to be Matt Leinart's offensive coordinator, and obviously Reggie Bush. That's hands down.
All right, guys. Let's talk about what the Patriots need to do in this draft. Coming off a season where they didn't win at all, this is a team that there's some questions to be answered. Of course, losing your kicker. I mean, do we even draft a kicker? Guys, let's talk about the process the Patriots need to take, Brett.
Well, Bill Belichick is known to take the best player available. He's always done that. And if he doesn't feel that the guy they need, the position they need is a good enough player to take at that time, he'll take the best player available. I do think they need a running back, though. And maybe they'll look at Lendell White, they'll look at D'Angelo Williams, Lawrence Maroney, those type of guys. But he's known to take the best player available.
Lawrence Maroney, you mentioned him before. I think this guy's a great pick for the New England Patriots. He has the ability to stop that huge blitz for Tom Brady, keep him healthy. This guy can rack up some yards, too.
All right, guys, we already mentioned Vince Young possibly to fall down. Are there any other people out there, some names that people know that are likely to fall?
I think Jay Cutler can fall. I think he's a little overrated, and I can see him slipping all the way down to maybe 15 or 20 in the draft.
Even that, if the Arizona Cardinals don't take him at number 10, watch for him to be the next Aaron Rodgers that falls all the way down. But also, we've mentioned it before, Lendell White. The guy has a torn hamstring, put together a poor showing in his draft workouts. So who knows, maybe he can even fall into the 2nd round, which would be amazing.
Any crazy sleepers sitting out there, guys, that you think are going to be late 2nd round steals?
I'm not really that familiar with much of the college football, but I want to talk about Shannon James for a little bit. This guy, obviously not going to be a first-day draft, but who knows? Maybe he can be that 6th rounder that just comes out of nowhere. I love him. Mel Kiper has mentioned it before on various draft boards, saying this kid's got talent.
I was just going to say that Mel Kiper has mentioned before in his draft room, so he's familiar with Shannon James. Every NFL executive is familiar with Shannon James. I can see him being a 6th round pick and maybe being a steal in this draft.
All right, guys, you just mentioned Mel Kiper. He's their guru. You're our 2 gurus. We thank you today for a great show. Of course, tune in a couple weeks to that NFL draft. But for Brandon Harms, Brett Wishnia, I'm Nick DiFelice, Amir Norman on camera, Evan Levine, director, Kirk Thorne in the back, Rory Hart, Danny Exter, Clifford Schochat. Thank you as always, guys, and we had a great show. Make sure to tune in next Thursday at 6 o'clock here live on UVC, and don't forget to call in 51336. We always want to talk to you about sports. Have a good weekend, guys.